Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding out that the biggest winners of the AI revolution aren't OpenAI, Google, or even Nvidia. Instead, the real winners are the companies building giant warehouses filled with computers, power plants producing electricity around the clock, and businesses most people have never even heard of. While everyone is focused on AI chatbots and futuristic robots, a much larger battle is taking place behind the scenes. A battle worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Because every AI model, every AI image, every AI-generated video, and every AI assistant depends on something most people never think about: infrastructure. And right now, the world's largest companies are spending money at a pace we've rarely seen before. We're talking about a race that could exceed $500 billion, a race that may determine who dominates the next decade of technology. Just a few years ago, artificial intelligence was mostly a niche industry. Researchers talked about it. Tech companies experimented with it. Most people barely paid attention. Then ChatGPT arrived. Within months, millions of people were using AI to write emails, answer questions, create content, and even write code. Suddenly, AI wasn't just a technology. It was becoming part of everyday life. And that's when the world's biggest companies realized something important. Building AI wasn't going to be cheap. In fact, it might become one of the most expensive technological revolutions in history. When people think about AI, they imagine software. They imagine smart algorithms. They imagine futuristic technology. But AI is actually incredibly physical. Every time you ask an AI a question, huge amounts of computing power are being used somewhere. That power comes from gigantic data centers. These facilities contain thousands upon thousands of specialized computer chips working together, and they consume enormous amounts of electricity. In many cases, a single AI data center can require as much power as a small city. Think about that for a moment. Every image generated, every AI conversation, every video created, all of it depends on physical infrastructure, and demand is exploding. To understand the infrastructure race, we need to talk about Nvidia. A few years ago, Nvidia was known mainly for gaming graphics cards. Today, it's one of the most valuable companies in the world. Why? Because Nvidia's chips became the gold standard for training AI models. Companies building AI systems desperately needed Nvidia hardware. The result was a buying frenzy unlike anything the tech industry had seen in years. Major corporations started spending billions of dollars on Nvidia chips. Some companies were willing to wait months just to get access to them. Demand became so intense that Nvidia's revenue exploded. Its valuation soared. And investors realized something huge. The AI boom wasn't just creating software companies. It was creating an entire ecosystem. Many people think the AI boom is already happening. But according to industry experts, we're still in the early stages. The biggest spending wave may be ahead. Microsoft is investing heavily in AI infrastructure. Amazon is pouring billions into data centers. Google is expanding its AI capabilities. Meta is spending enormous amounts on computing power, and that's just the beginning. Together, these companies are committing staggering amounts of capital. Not millions, not billions. Hundreds of billions. They're building the digital equivalent of highways, railroads, and power grids for the AI era. Because whoever controls the infrastructure could control the future. One of the biggest beneficiaries of the AI race is the data center industry. For decades, data centers quietly powered the internet. They stored websites, handled cloud computing, processed online transactions. Now they're becoming the backbone of artificial intelligence. The problem? AI requires vastly more computing power than traditional internet services. That means larger facilities, more servers, more cooling systems, more land, and far more electricity. Across the United States, companies are rushing to build massive new data centers. Entire regions are transforming into technology hubs. What was once empty land is now becoming home to billion-dollar facilities, and demand keeps growing. But there's another challenge: electricity, lots of it. AI systems consume enormous amounts of energy. As companies deploy more advanced models, power demand rises dramatically. This has created an unexpected opportunity. Utility companies, energy producers, power infrastructure firms. Businesses that once seemed boring are suddenly becoming extremely important. Because without reliable electricity, there is no AI revolution. Some experts believe power generation could become one of the biggest investment themes of the next decade. Not because of electric cars, not because of climate goals, but because of artificial intelligence. That's how significant the demand could become. History has seen many gold rushes, but often the people who made the most money weren't the miners. They were the ones selling the tools. During the California gold rush, merchants supplying equipment often became wealthy regardless of who found gold. The AI boom is remarkably similar. Everyone talks about AI companies, but the infrastructure providers may become some of the biggest winners. Chip manufacturers, data center operators, power companies, networking firms, cloud providers. These businesses are providing the picks and shovels of the AI era, and demand appears to be growing faster than supply. The AI infrastructure race isn't just about making money, it's about survival. Technology leaders understand that AI could reshape entire industries. Search engines, software, healthcare, education, entertainment, finance. Virtually every sector could be affected. If one company gains a significant advantage in AI infrastructure, it could gain a major competitive advantage overall. That's why we're seeing spending levels that would have seemed unimaginable just a few years ago. Nobody wants to be left behind, and nobody wants their competitors to gain the upper hand. Perhaps the most fascinating part of this story is that many future winners remain unknown. 20 years ago, few people predicted exactly which internet companies would dominate. The same could happen with AI. Some future giants may already exist. Others may not even be founded yet. A company solving power challenges. A business improving AI networking. A startup developing better cooling systems. A new infrastructure provider. The next trillion-dollar opportunity might not be the AI chatbot everyone talks about. It could be the company quietly solving a critical problem behind the scenes. Of course, not every prediction becomes reality. The AI race faces real challenges. Infrastructure projects are expensive. Energy demand could create bottlenecks. Economic conditions could change. Competition is intense. Some companies will spend billions and fail to achieve their goals. Others may discover that AI adoption happens slower than expected. History shows that technological revolutions create both winners and losers. The internet created enormous wealth, but many internet companies disappeared. The same will likely happen with AI. The AI revolution is often presented as a story about chatbots, robots, and futuristic software. But beneath the surface lies a much bigger story. A story about data centers, electricity, computer chips, infrastructure, and a race that could surpass $500 billion. The companies building the foundations of AI may ultimately become just as important as the companies creating the AI itself. Because before artificial intelligence can transform the world, someone has to build the machines, someone has to generate the power, someone has to create the infrastructure. And right now, the biggest corporations on Earth are spending hundreds of billions of dollars to make sure they're the ones leading that race. The question is, when people look back on the AI revolution a decade from now, will they remember the chatbots, or the companies that built the world behind them? If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more deep dives into the world's biggest companies, billionaire strategies, and the future of technology. And let me know in the comments, who do you think will be the biggest winner of the AI revolution?